great win for the Pirates last night in front of a sellout crowd, over 39,000. They watched Pedro Alvarez deliver a pinch hit single off a left-handed pitcher, and in 10 innings, the Pirates were victorious by the final score of 5-4. And of course, the celebration afterward, pie in the face from A.J. Burnett. The Pirates had 36 home wins before last night's victory, and today they take on the Dodgers in Game 2. They'll be coming by boat, by car, by bus to get here as the Pirates and Dodgers meet. Greg Brown along with Bob Walk. The Pirates beat a team that started a potential Hall of Famer in Clayton Kershaw last night. We'll see what today offers. We do know last night the Pirates had just enough hitting and strong defense from guys like Sean Rodriguez. Bob.
My bet is, Greg, is that when Sean Rodriguez gets out there again this afternoon, and you know he will, he'll use those quick feet of his to turn some more great plays. Look at that backhand flip on the double play. Talk about some quick feet. How quick was he to get this ball and get into the baseline so he could make that tag and turn that into 2 outs?
For a guy that's batting just .217, he offers so much. Everywhere he plays well. Gregory Polanco homered leading off the bottom of the first inning against Dan Herron and the Cubs on Wednesday night. The next night, which was last night, he homers to lead off the bottom of the first against Clayton Kershaw. He has reached base safely in 24 of his last 26 ball games.
Oh, he's been doing it all. He can score from a long ways off like he did there with a home run. Or if he wants to, he can just punch it out there, punch it into the outfield. It's really a complete game he's got now at the plate.
Francisco Liriano will start today for the Pirates. He should be fresh because he only went 2 innings on Monday before the game was postponed because of rain.
Oh, hopefully he'll have his good command, and as you can see there, he really owns the Dodgers.
3-0 in 3 career starts with a 1.37 ERA against Los Angeles. The Pirates left-hander looking for his 8th win of the season, and he has pitched very well here at PNC Park. Should be a good ball game. Matt Latos against Francisco Liriano. Pirates-Dodgers coming up next.
Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Toyota helps you get the most out of your drive. Just ask a friend who drives one. Toyota, let's go places. And by Barrel Automotive, we're driven to be better. Let's go Bucks.
and ready to go here as folks continue to make their way to the North Shore for Game 2 of this big 3-game series against the team that leads the National League West by 3 games over the San Francisco Giants. Meeting number 2 of the season series between the Pirates and the Dodgers. Buccos with a run in the bottom of the 10th inning. A bases loaded pinch hit single by Pedro Alvarez, winning it 5-4. They out-hit the Dodgers 14-6. Winning in front of the second largest crowd of the season, behind only opening day. And the Pirates players go through their 3-game rituals in the dugout.
They are consistent in that dugout as far as the things that they do to get ready, I guess especially here at home, the same spot. Get themselves fired up just before they run on the field. There they go.
Pedro Alvarez did not start against the lefty Clayton Kershaw last night, but he did get the hit off the left-handed reliever J.P. Howell, that line single to right field.
Greg, I thought that was really a nice at bat because of the pitch that he took before that fastball that was just off the plate a little bit. It was kind of curling back in, and he was able to take that and then set on that hanging breaking ball.
The lineups for the Dodgers: Jimmy Rollins, Howie Kendrick, who's a .471 career hitter against Francisco Liriano, will be followed by Adrian Gonzalez, and Scott Van Slyke hits cleanup. Yasiel Puig, Enrique Hernandez, A.J. Ellis, Alexander Guerrero, and Matt Latos. The starting 9 for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Liriano's numbers brought to you by Hyundai, and they are obviously very good numbers. Should have a few more wins than just 7. That's the way the breaks go sometimes. But when you hold the opponents to batting .201, and you're well into August, that's a great job.
He started on Monday against the Chicago Cubs. He faced 8 batters, struck 3 of them out, had given up a hit and a walk before the rains came, and after 2 hours and 9 minutes of the first delay, the Pirates shut down Liriano, so he should be fresh. And Neil Walker is back out there to start Honda defense, with Alvarez at first, Jung Ho Kang at short, Aramis Ramirez at third. That starting outfield of Marte McCutcheon and Gregory Polanco in right. Francisco Cervelli catches Liriano. Cervelli, though he did not start last night, but Garrett Cole on the hill did have a couple of at-bats and was 2 for 2. Opponents hitting just .201 against Liriano on the year. That's the 4th lowest batting average against in the league. Crowd filing in still to PNC Park. And the first pitch, Jimmy Rollins into right field. Well, he's playing more like he's 26, not 36, at least in this series.
Yeah, he really is doing a heck of a job, and you can tell he's really kind of a thinking man's baseball player now. The right side of the infield absolutely empty, and he is just going to go that way no matter what.
Rollins had 3 hits last night plus a walk, a couple of RBIs, so leadoff single, and he's a much better hitter from that right side of the plate. Here's Howie Kendrick, just gave you those career numbers for the veteran against Liriano. 8 hits and 17 at bats. And the umpiring crew gave Morales behind the plate, with Mark Wegner at first. Trip Gibson is at second. Crew chief is at third, Mark Carlson. Ball 1. Kendrick had a couple of hits in last night's game, a couple of RBIs. An infield 2-run single in the 3rd inning. That ball that Aramis Ramirez stopped ended up scoring a pair of runs. Chopped back to Liriano. He waits awfully long before throwing to second, and safe both ways.
Changed his mind. He had a right idea. If he would have went right away, he had the out at second base, but I don't know why he waited and then decided to go ahead and do it anyway. And Greg, they called them safe both ways, but I'm not sure they're safe anywhere. Yeah, maybe safe there.
And they're going to challenge the play at first. I don't know.
He's out at second.
Can you challenge?
They're out at both bases.
Can you challenge both?
They're going to be out at both bases. Why couldn't you?
Well, how about if you challenge one? All right, it's second base, say. You know he's out there.
You win.
You get that. You say, okay,
him.
now we're going to challenge first. He's pointing to second right now. Well, I know it was almost definitely out at second.
In real life, I thought that I was going to see an out call at first. Now we think he's out at second. Now what's it going to show here?
That's almost too close to.
I don't know. I couldn't tell. Now, I think if you slowed it way down, I think he's out at first. But I couldn't tell for sure.
It was interesting that before they went to the headsets to talk to New York, the whole umpiring crew gathered around home plate to discuss something. Then
they're talking to Mattingly about it now. Okay, we're pretty sure that this is. I would have called him out. The ball hits the glove before his foot hits the bat. That one, as you said, Greg, that's close. I don't know what they'll do at first.
Right now they're challenging the play at second base.
Now, I guess if you lose, then you can't challenge it first.
That's right. So it makes sense if you're going to challenge both, you challenge this one because this one is pretty clear. It's in the glove now, and he's still not there.
Yeah, they're going to call him out.
The one at first base, I don't know that we've seen anything that would clearly overturn the call of safe. Trip Gibson, the second base umpire, and the crew chief Mark Carlson on the headsets back to New York.
You know, that view we have from center field definitely shows he's out.
Yeah.
I don't understand what they're looking at.
Why is it taking this long again?
Yeah. I mean, when you see that view, you don't even have to look at it anymore. I mean, the ball's in the glove and the foot's not there yet.
That's what we're talking about. Ball in the glove, and he's
still
still not
there. Look at the foot.
Still not
just
there.
Now
it
hitting.
is.
See, that's the view. I think you see that, and it's like it's over. Okay, yeah, he's out.
Now, all this could have been avoided had Liriano just turned and fired to second. We'd had a double play, but he hesitated, and that cost him. Maybe cost him just one. Double play. Another look. Ball in the glove.
Ball's in the glove. The foot was 3 inches from the base. I'm looking at Walker's foot's clearly on the bag.
Yeah. Ball in the glove now.
I don't
He's still
know.
not at the
what
base
could they
yet.
be looking at, Greg?
Don't know. Don't know. I mean, that's pretty clear.
I'm going to go get a sandwich or something.
All right, yeah, you got time. Go ahead. Get me one too, will you? You know, now the scoreboard is showing first base. Now let's see what we get. Second base is out. First base safe. So they did.
Oh, that's what they were looking at. They did challenge both. So now have they lost their challenge?
See, why wouldn't you challenge one?
Have they
like
lost?
the second base, challenge that. And then wait. and see how that goes.
I don't know, Greg. That's like asking me what's the best way to use a DH.
Reaction from Walker. Well, they get one.
But what I want to know is, do you have any challenges left?
I would think not.
Because you were half right.
Yeah.
Maybe you have
half a challenge left. And why not? Again, I know I'm silly for me to ask you this question, but why wouldn't you? It was pretty clear that he was out at second. So just challenge that one, and that gives you more time to look at first, and then decide, you know what, that's too close. We're not going to lose a challenge this early.
Maybe you don't lose a challenge. Maybe if you at least get one of them right, you don't lose a challenge.
That's the first time we've ever seen.
Where's that laminated sheet? I'm sure
it's around here somewhere. First time we've ever seen a team challenge 2 plays, 2 calls on 1 play. Adrian Gonzalez takes 1-1. Gonzalez 0 for 5 last night. He's hit by the pitch. Runners at first and second.
Just nipped him. Oh, look at that. Just got a little baggy part of his shirt was off. Hear the little double tick as that ball nipped the shirt.
Now Todd Van Slyke, who walked twice last night, pinch hitting late and staying in the ball game. Rivers Casino tips to win.
A lot of power up and down this lineup. I talked about that a lot last night over on the radio side. That doesn't make much difference. 1 through 8. There's some people that can hit the ball out. You got to be careful. And last night, bullpen had to cover 4 innings. Hopefully, just 6 innings, or excuse me, 6 outs, 2 innings. I'd like to see Lariano get through the 7th, cut down on the work of the pen.
Don Mattingly's club has hit 134 home runs. That's tops in the National League. And now Lariano falls behind 2-0. Scott Van Slyke, Puig on deck.
A little outside.
Morales gives Lariano that strike. And somebody from the bench says something to Gabe Morales now, the Dodger bench. Lined into left field and a base hit. And this is going to be 1-0 LA. Scott Van Slyke back in Pittsburgh, where he did some work as a bat boy at Three Rivers. His dad patrolled center field for the Pirates. Singles home.
They got a slider. This ball doesn't move a whole lot, though. Not the real good slider. It was moving pretty fast once it hits the bat, though.
His 20th RBI. And ball 1. Van Slyke, who last year hit .315 against left-handed pitching, 10th best mark in the league, moves Gonzalez to second. Kendrick scores. Puig was hitless in 4 trips in last night's game. 2 hits in the inning off of Liriano. Opponents again batting just .201 against him. Only Zach Greinke, Max Scherzer, and Johnny Cueto, when he was with the Reds, had a lower batting average against in the National League. See if we can get Puig to hit a ground ball to an infielder. 2-2.
Trying to throw that slider down and in again.
Matt Latos has the early lead and hoping his offense can score even more. Puig has hit into just 1 double play this season. And a strikeout, 2 away.
Liriano is feeling pretty strong. That fastball 94. Got that down and in slider going to chase up and away. Well, you can see that was not where he was trying to throw that ball.
Cervelli went out.
Cervelli, I couldn't understand. It looked like Cervelli wasn't really happy about something, even though they got straight. And then I saw the replay, and I understand why. Cervelli was setting up almost down and in off the plate. The ball was up and away. Barely was able to come out of the crouch in time to catch up to it. So he was either, telling him, hey, you got to do a better job of getting the ball where you want it, or just saying something like, okay, yeah, that was a big strikeout, just trying to get him pumped up, go after this last out, and keep the Dodger lead at 1. And right now, Liriano has no one to blame but himself. He would have made that quick throw instead of the hesitation, throwing the ball over to second base. He'd have a 0 up there, and he'd be in the dugout right now. Good changeup.
One and 2 on Kike Hernandez, starting in center field. 2 on and 2 outs. The rookie, Kike Hernandez, former 6th round pick of the Astros. Came over from the Marlins in December. Two and 2. He won both of his starts against these Dodgers last year, did Liriano.
Look crowded, isn't it?
Cameras, 3 TV crews here, nationally televised by Fox, and of course here on Root Sports, and the Dodgers televising back to LA. Full count. 96, 3 and 2. His last official start was in Minneapolis on the 29th of July. 10 hits in 5 2/3, but beat the Twins. He's walked Hernandez. Now they're loaded for A.J. Ellis.
Well, one of the things that always helps Liriano out is if you got a team that is really being aggressive, swinging, not taking a lot of pitches. Because he will at times, certain games where he has to live by the chase. He's got to get those guys that swing in the bats at those bad off-speed pitches downstairs, and the fastballs out of the strike zone upstairs. Now Like he did with Puig when he got him to chase that heater up there a little above the letters.
Another
great
view.
You hate to have to work so hard during the first inning. You're always wanting that first inning that you're hoping it goes smoothly. Hasn't gone that smooth yet.
Not real smooth for Clayton Kershaw. Went 6 innings, gave up 9 hits, 4 runs, and no decision.
Not quite the strike thrower usually is. He walked a couple of guys. Walked somebody in, didn't he?
Yep. First time in over 3 years he did that. First pitch called a strike to A.J. Ellis, hitting .215 with 2 homers and 7 runs batted in.
Liriano bouncing a fastball up there. Definitely is not real good in the command department right at this point, especially with the fastball.
Block there from Cervelli. 2-2 on A.J. Ellis, the Dodgers catcher.
It was a slider, so Cervelli, he knows that there's a good chance with two-strike slider. He's going to have to get down and block this. He's expecting it.
Two and 2. 3-2. Comes the 30th pitch of this first inning. And he's trying to help out Cervelli, or Liriano, that is. And there's a chopper toward third, and stepping on the bag, Aramis Ramirez. 1-0 Dodgers. This week we've seen a lot of views of Pittsburgh and PNC Park as the sun started to set on this late afternoon start time. Different shots, and of course a crowded river. Here at PNC Park, we check out the Toyota starting lineup. Gregory Polanco will be followed by Starling Marte and Andrew McCutchen. Aramis Ramirez hits cleanup. And it's Jung Ho Gong in the 5th spot. Neil Walker bats 6th. Pedro Alvarez, Francisco Cervelli, Francisco Liriano, 1 through 9.
numbers that Matt Latos has put up this year a little bit misleading. He's been much better lately, so I would expect him to be throwing the ball well. I see that he has added a splitter this season to his repertoire. Everybody, as they get older, they evolve and try different things. You start losing a little velocity. You got to change things around a little bit.
It's his second start with the Dodgers since being traded over at the deadline from the Marlins. Pitched well against the Angels 6 days ago. He went 6 innings, gave up just a run on 4 hits. 5-1 lifetime and 12 career starts against the Pirates with a 3.13 ERA. The former Padre, former Red.
By the way, the league's only hitting 159 off that new splitter, so it was a worthwhile addition.
The numbers against the Pirates. First pitch strike on Polanco. Two hits last night in addition to the first inning home run. Has reached base safely in 24 of his last 26 games. Looking bunt. Peeled over to third. Mark Carlson said no, he didn't offer. 1 ball, 1 strike on Polanco. Down a run early. Last 7 games hitting over 300. Two and one.
We'll really start to see of late that the package of the power and the speed starting to come together. I think we saw the ability to hit the line drive, get himself on base a little earlier in this little stretch of good games he's got, and now the ball starting to jump off the bat, getting out of the ballpark.
And a leadoff walk for Polanco.
On base percentage is so important for a leadoff man. Got to set the table.
Francisco Liriano giving up a run in the top of the first inning. Maybe he'll settle down. Maybe the Pirates can get him a run. 10 of 13 have successfully stolen against Latos this season. Marte was 0 for 4 last night and is 2 out of 13 lifetime against Latos. To right field.
Get in.
Gets down. Polanco has to hustle into second base, and he went in standing up. He goes in standing up instead of sliding into second. The base running issues.
I mean, he was in a kind of a tough spot, of whether that ball is going to be caught or not, but there is no excuse for, once you see it bounce, I mean, you got to go in hard and slide. There's no way you can stop and not overrun the base and run as hard as you can to the base.
Unbelievable,
really. That's why at first they let you run through the bag. I don't get it.
Story today in the Los Angeles Times about Don Mattingly's frustrations with the Dodgers base runners.
Well, it's not the Pirates or the Dodgers. We've seen it everywhere.
Instead of first and second, nobody out. Marte's at first with 1 out. Last night, Polanco, after delivering a base hit.
But you know, Greg, also, we're seeing things that you would think would be taught even on the amateur level, like, you know, sliding into second base when you're trying to beat out a throw. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
It's not something that's not done right because it's not taught here. That's the last place you would think it would need to be taught, was here. But even when you get to like rookie ball, you would assume that that's something you wouldn't have to teach anybody.
I just don't understand. Even,
and I don't want to pick on Polanco right now. As I said, it is all over baseball for whatever reason. It's just the base running just is not what it should or could be at all.
Basic stuff. There goes Marte. He's in there with a stolen base. .22 for Marte.
And not even a little peek over his shoulder.
Now what is this? Time was called? Time was called before the pitch was delivered by someone? I saw Latos talking with the home plate umpire, Gabe Morales. And here comes Don Mattingly.
Well, did they call it interference?
Interference and he'd be out.
That's what I think Mattingly is saying. Why isn't he out? Did you see Mattingly go give the out call as he came up the steps? Because I saw Ellis right there. It's the backswing.
Well, I mean, the backswing, that happens all the time. It's not interference. Backswings hit catchers all the time. They couldn't have been saying they foul tipped it, could they?
No. They sent him back for unintentional interference.
The official score said foul tip.
Okay, foul tip.
That doesn't matter. It's still a swing and a miss.
Yeah.
It's like a strike. I don't know. I don't know what Mattingly could be arguing. I don't know what the play call is.
Mattingly is saying if it's interference, it should be out, just like you did.
But I don't know what the call is.
Unintentional interference. It was my bad.
I'm going to ask Zach to go over there and see if we can get an explanation. This is a bizarre bottom of the first inning, and he motions foul tip. That happens all the time also. That's just a strike, isn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't make any difference whatsoever.
Bring a runner back.
No. If he would have dropped it, it's a foul ball.
Right. McCutchen is at the plate with 1 out. And Marte back to first. Some crazy stuff early on. You know, going back to, not to rehash the base running thing, but even something that kind of went unnoticed was Scott Van Slyke on a bouncer to third. He stopped instead of going hard and sliding into third base for the last out of the top of the first. And still 1-2 on McCutchen. And here in the bottom of the first inning, Polanco leads off with a walk. Marte hits the ball into shallow center field that drops in front of Puig. Polanco had to hold up, and then he went in standing up Instead of sliding, had he slid, he'd have been safe. And Marte steals second, and they make him go back to first on what was an indication of a foul tip.
You got to go back, obviously, on a foul ball.
And now a half-hearted throw from Ellis, and he steals second base anyway.
Just a half-hearted throw was right, Greg. Not much on that one at all.
Two and two. McCutchen fouling off a number of pitches here from Latos. He's a .273 career hitter against him. 6 out of 22, half those hits home runs.
He is everywhere.
Now 3 and 2.
A 10 pitch at bat, at least.
Another.
Yeah, neither pitcher really having an easy, smooth first inning.
A 10 pitch at bat so far for Andrew McCutchen. And into center field. How about that at bat for Andrew McCutchen to tie the game? 11 pitches against Latos.
Just a great battle. And even though he gets jammed on a ball that's up and in, he's strong enough to fight it off, get it to the outfield, deep enough for Marte to just read it immediately.
Look at that.
Marte right now is off to the races. He knows there's no way anybody's going to be able to catch this. Right off the label, but just powers it out over the infield.
.70 RBIs for Andrew McCutchen. One of 5 players now in the National League to drive in 70 or more. Now Ramos Ramirez at the plate.
And certainly Ramirez, extremely dangerous for runners in scoring position when he's up at the plate.
Best average in the league, hitting over 400 in those situations. Ramos Ramirez, 2 hits in last night's game. RBI single in the 5th last night. Drove in a run. Could be 2. It is inning-ending double play. Andrew McCutchen ties it 1-1. We're still unaware of what that call was. We're asking down, we're calling down to the dugouts. People up in the press box don't know what's happened. And this goes back, I said time and time again over the years, they've gone to replay. Why don't they communicate, Bob, with calls? These umpires should have a headset mic'd so that people in the stadium, people at home watching or listening, know what these calls are.
What's going on now?
Needs more baseballs.
Oh.
Now you're paranoid.
Well, yeah, all of a sudden he's walking over to our dugout. But, like, if you needed more baseballs, why didn't he get more baseballs like 2 minutes ago while the pitchers were warming up? All of a sudden now we need the pitcher is done. Liriano wants to pitch. Now it's timeout. We got to go get baseballs.
I think they were all involved in a big discussion between innings.
The play umpire wasn't talking to anybody.
Maybe he was thinking about the discussion that was going on between innings. Just getting word. The unintentional interference? Batter interference?
That's what I said at the very beginning.
And as I've said, how many times have you seen that?
Well, I've seen it, but I mean, that's why I said it. Unintentional.
And how many times have you seen that call?
I don't know. But the sign for unintentional interference
is not
must
foul
be
tip.
The same as foul tip.
Yeah. That was. We really were wondering what that was all about when I think it was the second base umpire, Trip Gibson. We showed that replay last half inning, was indicating when Marte was heading back to second, he was indicating foul tip.
Well, I wasn't wondering. Foul tip is nothing. A foul ball, you got to send it back, but a foul tip is meaningless.
Again, the question is, why was he indicating foul tip?
Well, it was a foul tip, maybe. But didn't make any difference to the play. It's just a bookkeeping thing for the people that keep books.
So had Marte been thrown out at second base, he'd have been out. Since he wasn't, he's sent back to first. Alex Guerrero.
Colorado was the last time we saw it. Then Denver. It was on a pickoff throw to first base.
Well, that was when we found out about the umpire's rule book.
The unintentional interference.
The umpires have their own rule book. We found out after the game. Strikeout.
It takes a while to go through my database. It's like I had really an old computer. But that was the last time I can remember seeing this. Well, let's hope that slider is back. That was a nice one.
It's Gabe Morales, the home plate umpire. Again, well, why don't they have the umpires? Answer me that one, computer. Why don't the umpires have a headset so that people around the stadium know what's going on?
Well, because they know that that's a waste of time, because the direction baseball's going, there won't be any umpires after a while.
That's a good point.
It's computers can't talk.
That's a good point. Soft liner, and Matt Latos hitting over 300 this season. Has his 7th hit in 21 at bats. A 1-out single for Latos. Follow the Pirates wherever you are with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At bat is up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcast, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet. Great shots once again from the blimp. Jimmy Rollins singled to start the game. And then initially was called safe on a comebacker to the mound. Liriano hesitated. Rollins was called safe at second. Howie Kendrick was called safe at first. Pirates challenged both calls. One was overturned. The other stood. Kendrick remained at first. Crew chief Mark Carlson. We also, by the way, found out, we asked about the challenge situation, Bob. It was challenged as a one-play continuation. Therefore, the Pirates do not lose the challenge. Strike 3 call. Rollins strikes out looking.
Now look at the command now on the fastball. That's really about the first time he's really drilled Cervelli's glove. He put it right there inside corner, and that's where he put it.
Barrel Automotive league leader, strikeouts per 9 innings. Liriano is third behind Kershaw and Scherzer. Kendrick hit the ball back to Liriano in the first. He scored on the Scott Van Slyke single. Liriano had to throw a bunch of pitches in that first inning. Because he only threw 2 innings on Monday before the postponement, and because of the off day on Monday, the Pirates will skip Jay Happ and go with Jeff Locke Tuesday in St. Louis. Tomorrow Charlie Morton goes against these Dodgers, and the series against the Cardinals will be Locke, Garrett Cole, and Liriano. Two and 2 on Kendrick.
Well, did it again. Beautiful pitch right where the glove was. Now this is the kind of stuff that makes Liriano really tough, when he's able to spot his fastballs like that. If he's consistent with that for the rest of this ball game, it could be very bad news for the Dodgers.
Liriano takes a swipe at it, and Walker fans on it. And it's first and third. Latos goes into third base. Kendrick infield single. See what Walker looked like he was trying to do, the glove flip to Gong.
Was Gong at the bag though even? Yep, nothing in the glove. See where Gong was? Watch Gong. He could have flipped him the ball and he wasn't going to be near enough the bag to reach it for the force out. Basically, they were going to get nobody no matter what.
Gonzalez hit by a pitch in the first, just clipped his jersey. And right through that hole on the left side of the infield, 2-1 LA. Latos singles and scores.
Gonzalez just crossing up the defense that time. Planning to pull the ball on the infield and went the other way. See Gong was standing just about straight up the middle.
Gonzalez with his 66th RBI of the year.
We're back to a lot of pitches again, Rick. 51 pitches. Not through the second inning yet.
4 hits. He's walked 1. He's hit a man.
I think in this inning he's made some great pitches. There's just been a couple of, how about his last 2 ground balls?
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing he's doing wrong this inning at all. First inning, he didn't have very good control, to be honest with you. This inning, I think he's doing better. But he got a couple of ground balls that didn't get outs on. That's out of your control. There's nothing you can do about that. Try to take the sting out of the bat, get ground balls if possible, and then it's up to the luck and the defense.
Ball 1 on Scott Van Slyke, had an RBI single last inning. Kendrick at second, Gonzalez at first. 2-0, Cervelli. Walker taking the throw.
Kendrick taking a couple of shuffle steps, getting a secondary lead.
Him up. Cervelli with the home plate umpire trying to get away from him. And Cervelli makes the catch as Van Slyke pops out. But the Dodgers get a run and take the lead back.
Robbie and Smikowski. Well, Michael Morse and Matt Latos were traded together the day before the trade deadline from Miami to Los Angeles. Now, obviously, Matt Latos reported, but Michael Morse never did. However, a box of blue shoes were sent to L.A. on Morse's behalf. And Matt Latos hadn't had any shoes yet. All he had were orange ones from the Miami Marlins. So you kind of see where I'm going with this right now. So he made his first start a couple days later. What did he do? He grabbed his iPhone and he snapped a photo, sent it to Morse and said, "These are mine." And he wore them for his first start in a Dodge uniform. Well, guess what? He's pretty comfortable in them. And those shoes Matt Latos is wearing right now, they're Michael Morse's shoes that he's never even seen. First time he's seen it right now on Matt Latos' feet on the mound. How about that?
And Michael Morse was, Robbie, just a Dodger for officially, I guess, for a couple of days. Traded over to the Pirates for Jose Tabata. But Latos and Morse involved in that 3-team, 13-player trade. Braves also involved. In fact, we'll see former Brave Alex Wood tomorrow night. So 2 new Dodgers, Latos today, Wood tomorrow night. Speaking of the Marlins, Ho Gong. His first look at Latos. Last night, 2 for 4. Struck out his first time against Kershaw, then singled against him, and struck out in his third at bat against the lefty. And now it's 3-1. Last 21 games, Gong batting at a .383 clip. Latos, meanwhile, has been much better since coming off the DL with the left knee inflammation. Line to center field. Another hard hit line drive by Jung Ho Gong.
Let her high fastball turn that baby around. You know, Jung Ho, it does have to be, even though he's a bona fide, obviously big leaguer himself, he still has to get thrilled every now and then to go against certain pitchers. You know, I know that he actually said that he was really looking forward to seeing Chapman and being able to hit against him. But like Kershaw, probably another guy that, you know, he's been reading about for the last 4 or 5 years, saying how good this guy is. I'm sure he really enjoyed last night getting up there. And
well, even Latos is not a slouch, you know. I mean, he kind of crossing all these guys off his list. And a base hit to right for Walker. Two on, nobody out.
A couple of high fastballs getting turned around here. A couple of years ago, it was a little bit more difficult to turn around those high fastballs. Latos, one of the harder throwers in the league.
You know, Walker, the base hit.
Still got a good fastball, but it's not that you know, overpowering upstairs that he used to have.
Latos last year with the Reds was 5-5 in 16 starts. He had some injury issues, so he was limited to just the 16 starts and 102 innings for the Reds. Alvarez a .296 career average versus Latos. Third, Walker to second.
It's okay.
Productive out.
That was a productive out. Second, third, now just one out. Cervelli up there. Base hit. Bucks take the lead.
Cervelli 33 runs batted in. Last 13 games hitting .409. Infield back will concede the tying run.
I like the way Cervelli, when he first gets in there and he kind of starts moving back and forth and eyeballing the pitcher like,
okay, I'm ready for you.
I'm ready for you. I got you. Right. Just get ready here now. Right here. Right there. Look at the way he looks. Okay. What do you got? No, I don't swing at those.
A.J. Ellis with the block.
Like Hollywood Squares.
Yeah. I'll go with Ellis for the block, please. Chop to the right side, and Gonzalez comes to the plate, and gone trying to dance around. Ellis won't be able to do it. 3-2 for out number 2.
Bat was in a tough spot. And if the bat wasn't there, he might have been able to do one of those slide bys and reach back. See where the bat is? That was an awfully nice throw from first base by Gonzalez. On third base side of home plate, about knee high.
A lot of first basemen would have just conceded the run. A 4-time Gold Glove winner Adrian Gonzalez, a bullet to Ellis to get Gong, and now it's Liriano. Walker did not go to third. Not Chopper, so he's still at second.
Wonder why he wouldn't go to third on that ground ball to first.
Steady. Near the wall! Francisco! Oppo! Oh, baby, clear the deck! You are kidding me!
That's a slow job right there.
First career. Yeah, take your time. Welcome to the Ban the DH Club, Francisco Liriano.
You know, before the game, here it is. Hey, how about another one of those high fastballs? 94. Latos really trying to pump up and get some velocity on that.
They might want to get a curtain call here for Papa Francisco. Polanco lines one deep but foul. Oh, that was a bullet. You were saying, Bob. Take a look at the home run by Liriano to give the Bucks a 4-2 lead. His first career home run. A 3-run homer. He had 5 career RBIs before that swing.
Before the game, Greg, up on the big screen, they were showing Inside Pirates Baseball about pitchers hitting. You know, about in the old days, all the great pitchers. And it was just kind of neat that on that day, boom, big home run.
Hoping there's nothing wrong with Francisco Liriano. We see Ray Searage and Todd Tomczyk, the trainer, going over to talk to him. I hope he's okay, but Liriano actually looks like he's headed toward the runway.
He's set no records.
Tomczyk is
getting around the bases.
No, Todd Tomczyk is following him toward the clubhouse, it looked like.
Well, there's a little room down there with some trainers' tables and stuff. I think that's probably where they may have gone.
Watch the swing before the home run. Chopped on the right side. Polanco racing there, and he beats Latos to the bag. Infield hit for Polanco.
You cannot be slow to first base when you're pitching and Polanco's up. You hesitate a little bit, those long legs are going to go right by you. Latos had to start to slow down a little bit, also get his feet in the right position to hit the bag as he's catching the ball. Now, if Polanco would have had to stop at first base, he wouldn't have been able to beat that.
But because he can run right through the bag.
See, Latos starting to slow down because he had to make that catch. That's what made me think of that, by the way.
Well, he's back in the dugout. That's good to see. About A.J. Burnett hitting a home run not too long ago, and Francisco Liriano going deep for the first time in his career.
Younger guys better pick it up.
Walker talking about that swing, Liriano, and how he kind of grabbed his side. And there goes Polanco. When Liriano comes back after the home run, again kind of grabbing that pec area. But there doesn't seem to be much concern right now about it.
No, nobody's throwing in the bullpen or anything, so hope he's fine.
Something they'll just watch. Didn't affect his swing at all.
No.
There goes Polanco again in the dirt, and he stands with the stolen base. Number 19 for Polanco.
Latos actually is pretty quick to the plate. See how he doesn't have much of a leg kick, but Pirates are easily stealing these bases.
Polanco the Pirate.
I want to get a better look at that sign. He's shaking it too fast.
Reaches out, pokes it to the right side. And the out recorded there. The Pirates, Francisco Liriano at the plate, lead it 4-2. Just 2.5 back of the Yankees in the American League East. Troy Tulowitzki also homered for Toronto. Here it is 4-2 Pirates. Virginia Beach rooting for the Buccos. Another big crowd here this afternoon, and watching Francisco Liriano hit the home run. 2 homers in a season by Pirates pitchers. First time that's happened since 2003 when Kip Wells and Jeff D'Amico each went deep. Point Park University tweets crawl across the bottom of your screen. Wouldn't it be nice after that? You could have a quick top of the 3rd inning. Falls behind 2-0 on Puig. Last time a Pirate hit a 3-run homer was 4 years ago. It was against the Dodgers, and Dana Evelyn gave up a 3-run homer to Ross Ohlendorf at Dodger Stadium. 3-0 the count now on Puig.
Yeah, Greg, earlier in the year, I'm going to say is probably about a month or so ago, we had Liriano on a pregame on the radio side, and he was asked about the offense, about contributing. I think he had just gotten a big hit or something in a prior game, and I can remember his answer was that, well, they asked us to try and do better and try to help out on the offense. So we've been really working hard. It's kind of cool to know that here's an older player that's been around quite a while, and being asked to, hey, do something a little bit different this year with the offense. To, try this, try that. Work hard on your hitting, and to see that it's paying off. He's going up there. So many times in Liriano's Pirate career, Greg, we've seen him kind of go up there and just throw away at bats. Like you could see, he just doesn't care. You don't see that from him anymore. He's bearing down, and here today, a big home run, 3-run. I mean, it's so much fun to see something like that pay off.
And you'd like him now to get back, concentrate on that strike zone. He hasn't thrown a strike, a 4-pitch walk, and then 2 balls, and now here come Todd Tomczyk and Clint Hurdle.
I'm wondering if this has been something that's been going on the entire day, not just after that swing. A couple of the series visits, it looked like that they were maybe, well, Liriano was kind of despondent off to the side, like there was something wrong, not about, missing the strike zone here or there or anything like that, but that there was something maybe physically that was bothering him.
Convinced he's okay.
Well, if you're all right, got to throw strikes.
Remember, he missed, was scratched from a start. Clint Hurdle going to get the bullpen phone ringing. Scratched from a start early this season with a stiff neck.
It's a loud ring.
There's a strike.
So the fire alarm just went off. Everybody jumping up.
How about if they had a fire pole up there? If you're being called to relieve, you went down the pole.
You know what they could? They could have the seats up on top up there.
Yep.
Kind of where those, like at a level above,
right where the fans
where the flowers
are. Now.
Where those flowers are. No, even up right there where the flowers to the left.
Right.
No, the fans are there. Those flower beds right there.
Yeah.
Put the seats right there, and then you can have the pole. They jump down, go through the pole. For guys who don't, they can have some steps to go down for the other guys.
Hit deep to center field.
They're not going to catch that
one. 2-run homer. Kike Hernandez ties it with his 4th home run of the season.
Now that's Dodger baseball, at least this season, the long ball. They are quite a group of home run hitters. Just 92, just on a tee. Look at the location. right down Main Street.
Strike on A.J. Ellis. And a line drive caught by Gagnon. He drops it but recovers. Joe Blanton up in the Pirates' pen. Line to left.
Another ball just right down the middle.
Alex Guerrero, the line single.
This was either slider or changeup. You know, Greg, I don't know if that was a slider or not. It sure didn't break very much, but that's kind of what I'm going to say here. Just even when he is throwing the ball where he wants to this afternoon, it just looks like the slider. See the dot? It looks like the slider's just not breaking like it normally does. I mean, when he is on, which is most of the time, his slider's almost unhittable. And it's not that this afternoon. 098 league batting. 098. That is a horrible. That's a bad hitting pitcher. 098. That's what the league hits against his slider. It's not breaking like that 098 slider this afternoon. But the velocity is there, which is kind of a little confusing. If something is not right, I mean, we've seen throws high as 96. So he's able to finish the fastball, but maybe not so much the slider for whatever reason.
Facing his mound opponent. Runner at first and one out. A two-run homer by Kike Hernandez ties it. Latos singled and scored in the second. He has 9 sacrifice bunts this season. That's tied for most in baseball. Cervelli going to fire towards second, get one, and they do not get 2. Cervelli gets the lead man.
It's awfully tough to get that double play when you're having the first throw is coming all the way from home plate. It's taking a long time to get out to second base. That's a good job just getting the lead runner. Now they must be
making sure he's out at second.
Yeah.
Well, they are going to challenge him.
They're going to challenge the second.
Looks like he's first going to ask for the umpires to.
Well, this is about whether it is a, what do you call it, neighborhood play or not. Now, you can challenge, you can say that the throw was bad and took somebody off the base. But if an infielder comes off the base early just to try and make the double play, that you can't challenge. Now, did Gung leave the bag early because he was forced to because of a bad throw? Or did he even leave the bag?
I don't think
early?
he left the bag at all.
I can't see the Dodgers winning this one.
Rollins just saw this angle on the scoreboard. The Pirates challenge earlier in the ball game lasted 3 minutes and 54 seconds.
What if they say, yeah, he was out at second and he's out at first too on a continuation play?
That'd be great. And then you lose 2 challenges.
You lose tomorrow's challenge.
That's right. So
you know, Rock makes that cricket noise.
Yeah,
I wish I could.
That'd be great. We have to actually have him record it for us, and then during these challenges, play the cricket noise.
It looks like we're going to get a decision.
Then we need a drum roll, and he is still out. So he'll lose his challenge, I believe.
Do you think it was quicker when the crew chief used to go down where the ground crew is, down the steps, look at the screen, and then come back out and make a call?
Might have been.
It seemed like that was quicker. You know, and then too, you get the advantage if you didn't like the call, and you're a fan, you could boo the umpire. There's nobody to boo now. Somebody in New York, if you didn't like the call. There they had the box down there with the ball locked up.
Yeah.
I guess that'd be similar to what the NFL does.
I think that's a pretty good slider, huh?
The vertical break looked pretty good. Bottom fell out of it. But that's more like his normal slider, I would say.
Lorenzo Bundy, third base coach. Makes a Punko fan happy. One and two on Jimmy Rollins.
Almost half of the sliders that hitters swing at when Frankie's on the mound, almost half are swings and misses. My guess is that's not the case today.
One of his 3 strikeouts was of Rollins looking in the second.
Six pitches. Wow. Bullpen's going to have to shoulder some innings this afternoon. Another slider. Contact was made. No easy innings.
Got out in front of Rollins, and now it's 3-2. Kendrick waiting on deck. Blanton is ready. Liriano might have to get Rollins here to even stay in the game at this point. And he strikes him out.
And there's the swing and a miss. The whiff on the slider.
2-run homer for Kike Hernandez has tied it.
4-4 tie. Back in 2007, Andrew McCutchen batted .258 in AA Altoona. That was the lowest he'd ever bat at any level of baseball, and really, it was the first time he'd ever struggled as a pro. His manager that season was Tim Leeper. Now, amidst those struggles, Leeper used another guy who saw big league success after minor league struggles as an example. That guy is the man on the left, Jimmy Rollins. Kutch said Leeper told him he watched Rollins go through similar stuff in the minors before figuring it out. Now, that was his point of reference for Kutch, and he told Kutch he had similar potential to Rollins. Now, Rollins in '07 was in the midst of his MVP winning season that year, and Kutch said that helped him big time. If Rollins struggled, then it must be okay for him to go through it too. 6 years later, McCutchen did what? Won his first MVP award. Now let's just hope, Greg and Bob, like Rollins, Kutch can add a World Series to that resume.
That would be nice, Robbie. Jimmy Rollins, who spent 15 years in Philadelphia, the all-time hits leader in Phillies history, and as Robbie said, won the '07 MVP. Tim Leeper, by the way, first base coach now for the Toronto Blue Jays. Dan Potash gave you that update as Toronto shut out the Yankees 6-0. The Cardinals and Brewers meet tonight in Milwaukee. McCutchen. Extra bases. Leads off with a double to left. Boy, 2 hits last night for Andrew McCutchen. On base 4 times. 2 for 2 today. RBI single in the first, this double to left.
Yeah, this is a slider that just doesn't do a whole lot at all. You can tell there. See how the spin wasn't very tight, and it's just kind of floating up there, just a couple inches of break to it, and of course the location wasn't very good either. When you throw that kind of a pitch to somebody that is a quality hitter like McCutchen, they're going to get ripped like that one did.
For Andrew McCutchen, 27 doubles. Todd Frazier, the Reds, has 30 two-base hits to lead the league. Ramos Ramirez hit into an inning-ending double play in the first.
A little bit up underneath the hands.
A .300 career hitter against the Dodgers.
It's not easy to do, Dodgers.
No.
I mean, that's been their calling card for years and years. Good pitching.
A lot of conversations going on with Liriano. Clint Hurdle was over there. Todd Tomczyk, Ray Searage, J.J. Burnett sat next to him for a while. Ramirez hit by the pitch. Nope. It's a foul ball off the handle.
Yep.
Allegheny Health Network Supermo.
Excellent call.
Latos has hit just one batter this season. Ramirez playing in his 11th game since returning to the Bucks. Has driven in 4. And you see the career numbers against the Dodgers. Two balls and 2 strikes. Well, Latos has not had it easy. Talking about Liriano's struggles through his first 2-3 innings. And the Pirates with 6 hits, 4 runs. Latos has labored. Hustling over is Puig, but out of play.
Latos kind of tough to. It doesn't have a put away pitch so far today. Get to 2 strikes, but he can't get that third one. He's tried the high fastball a couple of times. That hasn't worked. The slider that we've looked at least this inning, you could tell just kind of spins and not real quick. Not much velocity to that rotation.
Still 2-2.
Rammer beating himself up a little bit. And I was looking at talking about Liriano, how tight his slider is, comparing it to Latos, and I looked at the batting averages against it. I already said that Liriano's was .098.
Right. Latos
.326.
Wow.
They hit Latos' slider. I mean, you can see that how different the spin looks as they're going in.
Latos has been so good since coming off the DL. Had left knee inflammation. Came off the DL June the 12th. Since that time, 8 starts, .279 ERA, a WHIP of .091. Opponents hitting .196 against him.
The control's been very good. Cut his walks way down.
And Ramirez not able to move McCutchen. One out in the bottom of the 3rd. We want to see your strongest fan photo. Use the hashtag #HitDataStrongFan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming telecast. Brought to you by T-Mobile. A 4-4 game in the bottom of the 3rd inning. A lot of base runners, a lot of pitches being thrown by both Latos and Liriano. Jung Ho Kang started the 2nd with a base hit. 8 runs, 13 hits combined. 1 out into the 3rd inning. Ball 1 on Kang. Looks as though Joe Blanton will be coming on in the 4th.
Well, Greg, I hope that Frankie's okay. Already lost AJ for at least a while.
And McCutchen takes off for 3rd, and he's in there with a big stolen base. Andrew McCutchen steals 3rd with 1 out here in the 3rd inning.
It's kind of like that last night when he went to 3rd. He got to the back corner of the bag. Oh, real nice break. And the ball bounced in. Boy, almost an instant replay of that slide from last night.
Yeah, that was fabulous.
The ball coming in on a bounce. And he puts that foot to the back corner, just beating the tag.
And for McCutchen, just his 6th steal of the season, but a big one.
Well, that's when you want to get him with 1 out.
Infield back. 2-2. Infield back. And up the middle for Chung Ho Kang. He's going to get the job done and nearly beat out the throw. He'll get the RBI, and the Pirates take a 5-4 lead.
Nice job, Kutch. Big steal of third base, set that up.
Kutch doubles and then steals third and scores on this play.
Jung Ho might have even had a base hit if it hadn't hit that front slope of the mound, kind of popped the ball up. If he could have cleared the mound, that would have probably snuck out into center field.
Walker singled and was aboard last inning when Liriano had his first career home run. Chung Ho Kang's RBI, his 36th. Among rookie leaders in the National League in a lot of offensive categories.
Drives one deep to right field. Clear the deck. Cannonball coming. It's the real deal with his 11th. A no-doubter off Latos.
All the way to the back fence. That's a long-range cannonball. You know, Greg, Neil hasn't hit as many home runs as he did last year, but it seems like the ones he's hitting are really getting way out of the ballpark. I mean, he has hit some monster shots. There's that slider that the league hits, what did I say, 330 off of, 326? Oh, it might be 330 now.
Oh, Alvarez with a deep drive, but foul.
Gonna go foul, yeah.
Oh.
That one out of the ballpark. It's down there somewhere. Yep, there it is. Uh-oh.
No, he didn't even bother to take off his shoes. Nope, he just dropped his wallet, said, I'm going in for it.
It's a foul ball. It's a foul ball.
Yeah, they don't know that. This one toward right center field. And a nice catch by Hernandez. Robbing Alvarez of extra bases. Pirates get 2, lead at 6-4.
Yeah, but that cool ladder.
7th inning at the gentleman that jumped in to grab the foul ball by Pedro Alvarez. Aerial coverage provided by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Has been an entertaining game and series so far. A home run by Neil Walker, his 11th. Solo shot following the ground out by Gong that brought in McCutchen. Pirates lead at 6-4. And we'll see Joe Blanton.
Second game for the Bucks. And there's a W to pick up here, Greg.
Yeah. W to be had.
Who in that bullpen will get it?
Liriano, 3 innings, 4 runs, 7 hits. Joe Blanton picked up from Kansas City. Save big when you use your Giant Eagle Advantage card. Save up to $10 on tickets for every Sunday home game. Just show your Giant Eagle Advantage card at the PNC Park ticket windows or go to pirates.com/advantage card. Sunday night baseball tomorrow. Strike on Howie Kendrick. Infield hit his last time up. Tomorrow night, Charlie Morton will oppose Alex Wood. A couple of 7-game winners. 8:05 tomorrow night. Concluding game of the homestand. The Pirates then hit the road for a series in St. Louis and then on to New York.
I know it's in August, but it's a big series in St. Louis.
Right now, the Pirates trail the Cardinals by 6 in the Central. The Cubs are 3.5 games behind Pittsburgh, but they are leading the Giants at Wrigley in the bottom of the 5th inning, 5-3. Those Giants will make their way into PNC Park next homestand. Ball hit to Polanco, line drive out. Blanton, his second outing with Pittsburgh. It's Kendrick to line out, now faces Adrian Gonzalez. RBI single the other way off the lefty Liriano in the second. Line drive over the head of Alvarez. Adrian Gonzalez with his second hit.
Brought that ball across the plate. Looked like it started out away. Need a grounder. Van Slyke sure seems to have a good eye, doesn't he?
He does.
Very patient hitter.
98 games last year, hit 297, 11 homers. Is it weird to watch Scott Van Slyke play Major League Baseball for you after your years as
you know,
his dad's teammate?
I don't think it's weird.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of it over the years, where guys that I saw when they were kids, do bat boy stuff, and now they're, heck, one of them's a general manager of the Phillies.
Yeah.
So it's been over and over. I've pitched to some kids of ex-teammates. The Brett Boone is one comes to mind right away. So I mean, it's something that I've seen a lot.
I guess so. I'm wondering, like, when you're watching Scott at the plate.
I think of his dad. Yeah,
you do.
I try to I compare the two of them because they're so different.
Yeah.
Even just the way they, obviously they wear the uniform and stuff. I mean, they don't look like the same type player.
Blanton gets him. Speaking of father and son, how about A.J. Burnett, who is on the disabled list, able to spend some time with one of his sons out in the Pirates bullpen, catching him, giving him some tips.
A.J. can't throw right now. You see him underhanding the ball back.
I think that's Ashton.
A.J. has him working the corners. See that?
Yep. At one point he said, just take a deep breath, relax.
Just like he does.
Yeah.
How much fun is that got to be for these kids to be out there in that bullpen?
Reed takes down, 1-1 strike.
And how much fun has it got to be for Dad?
Oh, yeah.
He'll have these memories forever also.
Bounced foul. Back to the bullpen session. Ball slips, and now watch AJ. Tell him to get some rosin on there. There you go.
Try that handoff.
Would it be funny if AJ had played a practical joke on his son and had the rosin bag explode, like it did a couple of years ago here? Down on strikes goes Puig. And a scoreless inning of relief for Joe Blanton, 6-4 Bucks. UPMC scoreboard, 6-4 Pirates go to the bottom of the 4th inning here at PNC Park. Great to see the Nadio family. Big time Pirates fans. Francisco Cervelli leads things off. Seven hits, 6 runs allowed by Latos. Unusual to see Latos struggle against the Pirates, especially here at PNC Park. 6 career starts here, 3-0, 2.87 ERA.
Pirates scored in every inning so far. 1, 3, and a 2.
Rollins. First time, the first 4 innings that Latos has retired the leadoff man. Happy birthday wish to Helen Davies. Celebrated birthday actually yesterday. Joe Blanton. A career batting average of 108.
But he's got a World Series home runs.
Yep.
It's like hitting 208.
That's right.
That puts another 100 points on your lifetime batting average.
Jimmy Rollins knows about the postseason. Heard Robbie talking about that earlier, and they were teammates in Philadelphia, Blanton and Rollins. Roller on the right side. Latos late covering, but he'll get there. And for a Polanco, it would have been another hit.
Yeah, if that was a lot of different guys, that's been another base hit. It's very late breaking off. He's kind of smiling about it afterward, but
I don't think Gonzalez was smiling.
No. I haven't seen Gonzalez smile in 2 days. Seems like a very serious man. Gonzalez, it was last night on the backswing. Hit Stewart, knocked his mask off. Did you see his, you know, oh, you okay or anything like that? Nothing. It's a serious man.
Yep. He's a seriously good player.
Oh, yeah.
Adrian Gonzalez.
Years and years. He put up good numbers.
He's smiling.
Everywhere he's been.
What are you talking about?
Is that a smile?
Is that a smile?
Kind of like.
He's
not
like
much
laughing.
of one.
Come on.
Much of one. I remember the really big, nice years he put up in San Diego, and he didn't have much of a lineup around him in some of those years.
It was all Gonzalez.
Yeah, it wasn't like anybody was giving him any protection at all. Still able to hit extremely well.
Kershaw and Greinke.
Definitely has a lineup around him now.
Is this going to stay in for Van Slyke? Yes, well done. And the Pirates go down in order for the first time. Pirates up 6-4.
You by the Chevy Trax and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive. We're gonna make your day. Let's go Bucks!
And this day in Pirates history, 1995, Orlando Merced, Jeff King, and Midre Cummings hit back-to-back home runs in the second inning. First time the Pirates hit 3 consecutive homers in 25 years. Jeff King also hit the second homer later in that frame. The Pirates went on to beat the Giants 9-5 at Candlestick Park. Speaking of this date in history, how about 100 years ago today, Ruth McClellan of Crafton was born. Happy birthday, Ruth McClellan. 100 today. John is a World War II POW hero. 91 years old today. Happy birthday. And happy birthday, Grandma. Bounced. And misplayed by Ramirez. Gong almost saved the error. A weird play there.
Yeah, it went to the backhand. I'm guessing that ball just stayed down, got underneath the glove. Oh, got underneath the glove by a bunch. Ramirez was really expecting a much higher hop.
This is his 8th error of the season, his 3rd since being traded back to the Pirates. And Kike Hernandez, who homered his last time, is aboard to start the 5th. A.J. Ellis 0 for 2. Line to the shortstop. Gong his last time up. Snap throw to first base. Hernandez safe. Blanton facing a former battery mate here, A.J. Ellis. Blanton pitched a year and a half for the Dodgers after being traded over from the Phillies 3 summers ago. 2-1 count on the veteran catcher.
There's been a lot of there's scuffling with the slider from both teams today. There was one there that just never would bite and have much break to it. Just caught the top edge of the strike zone. Evens the count out.
Full count now. Blanton was picked up from the Royals. Pirates designated Vance Worley for assignment. Worley cleared waivers and he has been outrighted to AAA Indianapolis. Glenn Hurdle lifts Francisco Liriano after just 3 innings, 4 runs, 7 hits. Blanton now in his 2nd inning of work. No word yet on Liriano's condition. Runner goes and it's ball 4, and it's 1st and 2nd with nobody out here in the 5th. First walk for Blanton. Allegheny Health Network injury update. Justin Turner on the disabled list with a right thigh skin infection. Hitting .323 this season. It's a big bat out of the lineup for the Dodgers. And Alex Guerrero is at 3rd base in this ball game. Guerrero came in hitting .233 in 78 games. I was reading about a bizarre incident that took place last summer between Guerrero and his former teammate, veteran catcher Miguel Olivo. When they were playing at AAA Albuquerque last year, Olivo became incensed when he tried to throw out a runner at 2nd base. Guerrero took the tag, took the throw, and apparently didn't apply the tag. Bounce to 3rd. Ramirez gets 1 and not in time for the double play. Close at 1st. Looked like that play was going in slow motion from the beginning. Not hit hard.
Yeah, Guerrero really didn't sting that one at all. A tough around the horn double play. The chopper.
They want to challenge this one. Maybe, huh?
Yeah, I think he's out.
They're going to challenge. I like the way Hurdle does that. He takes a couple steps out, just makes the motion for the headset. Put on the headset. We're challenging. See if Guerrero is out at first base.
So yeah, we'll probably have some time.
I think so. We'll have plenty of time. So anyway, they go back to the dugout and there's this altercation that ensues, and Olivo bites off part of his upper ear, Guerrero's upper ear. Ends up having it reattached by plastic surgeon, spends time in the hospital, time on the disabled list, and immediately Miguel Olivo is released by the Dodgers. That's one of the most bizarre. These are teammates kind of fighting on the field when Guerrero doesn't get the out at 2nd. Then they go into the dugout and they have a big fight.
Well, this was in
last year at Albuquerque.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Wasn't in Vegas.
No, why? Sounds like something happens in Vegas.
Yeah.
Well, we wouldn't have known about it had it. But teammates I know fight all the time, but
they do, but normally it doesn't.
They don't bite off an ear.
Yeah, guys that
they don't pull off a Tyson.
Serious type stuff. You know, somebody. Usually the guys that get hurt are somebody breaking it up. They'll end up, getting banged into a locker or something like that.
Stan Kasten, the Dodger president, after that incident, they released Olivo, said unimaginable, inconceivable, unforgivable. So they released Olivo, who had a lot of big league time. And let's see, he is out. A couple of good challenges for the Pirates.
Well, Greg, in my mind, they should always be out, right?
Yes.
That's what I've always wondered about is why the percentage of success on challenges should be like 90%. Shouldn't they?
Yes. Chick-fil-A double play. Call is.
What if the umpire in New York told him, boys, that's a chicken sandwich?
Yep. All overturned. Andre Ethier bats for Latos. Up in the bullpen, Pedro Baez.
I think someday the challenge will be sponsored.
Wasn't it 2 years ago? It was sponsored.
Oh, it has been already.
Bounce to Alvarez. Blanton will get over.
Got him. Big double play.
Yeah, the error by Ramirez turns out not to hurt the Pirates as Blanton gets the job done.
Pirates Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network, Health for All. By Kenny Ross, Just Ask a Neighbor. And by Levin's, the official furniture and mattress supplier of the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
Pirates up 6-4, head to the bottom of the fifth inning. Middle game of the series. Star Wars night coming to PNC Park Wednesday, August 19th. Pirates will host the Diamondbacks at 7:05. Star Wars themed night featuring a special pregame costume contest. Plus, fans who order tickets online get the official Pirates Star Wars t-shirt. For tickets, go to pirates.com/Star Wars. There you have it. That's not the t-shirt, but you'll get the official Star Wars t-shirt. That's a pretty cool one, though.
That is nice. I like that one.
Here is Pedro Baez.
See how many of the innings they get out of Baez. It's really going to be a little bit of a strain on both pins. Neither starting pitcher going very far in this one.
Baez has gone now 6 games, covering 7 innings without allowing a run. Spent some time on the disabled list himself.
The Dodger bullpens have been a little bit of a sore spot for them this year. The season's gone along. Their pin ERA has been rising since the trading deadline. They tried to get some help for that pin.
Dodgers bullpen ERA we mentioned last night has risen each month. 225 in April, 282 in May, then 420. Last month 629, and this month over 640.
Seeing that youngster down there get that foul ball made me think that cotton candy's got to be really good for your slider.
Keeps it
well, you get your fingers get real sticky, and you can really pull down on that slider and get that good tight spin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now get your. There you go. See?
There you go. Yeah, he's going to work on the slider.
Oh, sticky right thing. Oh, look at that. He'll have a great slider later on. Outstanding slider. He'll really be able to just hook those seams and pull straight down on them.
He's going to work on that.
I would imagine that it's probably against the rules for pitchers to eat cotton candy in the dugout if you're in the game, because you get the stickiness in the rule book, huh? Yeah, it's foreign substance, cotton candy. Yeah, that would definitely add a little stickiness. That's what you're looking for that slider. Nice grip, firm grip. There used to be stuff coming in a tube called firm grip.
Marte pops it up. Mendez makes the catch.
I used to wonder about that stuff because it was like outlawed in every sport, but yet they manufactured it. Who's using it?
One out. It's time now for our Data Strong fan photo of the game. Brought to you by T-Mobile. This from the U.S. Virgin Islands. Regis with a shot wearing the Jolly Roger t-shirt.
Looks nice down there, doesn't it?
It does.
A lot of pirates in those waters.
McCutchen 2 for 2. Now with 1,099 career hits. One more hit, becomes the 29th player in Pirates history with 1,100. Jack Wilson was the last back in 2007. Two and one. And there is 1,100
for his Pirates career. A 3-for-3 afternoon.
They've been able to hit 2 of those 3 hits right on the nose. That'll be saved. Gotta clean some of that dirt off it though. Rollins couldn't get to it. Hit too hard.
So they'll make it official. 8 more hits and he'll match Andy Van Slyke. 28th on the all-time Pirates hit list. And now Ramirez, a bullet to left, off the wall. McCutchen into third. Ramirez is going to be thrown out at second base. Ball hit right off the padded wall, and Scott Van Slyke throws out Ramirez at second.
Well, you're really taking a chance when you're throwing that ball to second base. What if McCutchen doesn't stop? Yeah, you got the out, but you're giving up a run to do it. You know what I mean, Greg? About a foot from top of the wall.
A big second out at second base.
I don't think Kendrick does. He didn't even look at third base.
No, not until right there.
Yeah,
might have been too late.
Yeah, it would have been. That would have been at home by then.
There's a high home view. Here's what we're talking about now. Watch McCutchen. Ramirez thrown out at second. The ball off the wall. Off to Jung Ho Kang with 2 outs.
Now, there's no way for Kutch, obviously, to know that that ball is going to second base.
This view. Terry's way up there.
What a ballpark, huh? What a beautiful ballpark. He was waving to us, but it's not. Yep, you see it, Terry. Well, he gets some exercise, doesn't he? He's all over everywhere. This place every day, every night. Lugging that big camera around.
Dribbler. 2 outs. Andrew McCutchen, I think, didn't realize there were 2 outs. So Kang is retired.
the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
6-4, another great shot from the DirecTV blimp. Tremendous pictures. Terry doesn't need the blimp.
No, he doesn't.
He gets up there. What did you say, Bob?
What did you say, Bob? Did you say something, Bob?
No, I didn't say anything.
Oh.
Right.
Jimmy Rollins.
I went to get coffee. That's where I was.
You did? But then you were talking as if you had the headset on.
I did have the headset.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh.
I put it on very quietly, too.
Yes, you did.
My finger was on.
Keep that pressed. You're so quiet. Let us know next time you're on headset. We didn't even realize it.
That's what this camera's for. Right there.
You think they're watching us in the truck?
Yeah, they are.
Constantly?
Like hawks. This is a spy cam. You can see exactly what we're doing. That's a cool looking blimp up there. Yeah, Greg, why don't we have a blimp every game? I really like the shots we're getting. Does it cost a lot to get a blimp up there? You think? We couldn't have that every game?
Not easy. Strike 3.
Wow. Was a strike. I was about to say that I thought that ball was a little low also because Rollins was walking off. But saw the strike zone. It was right at the knees. I always enjoy the blimp shot, so I think there's this.
I don't know many people that don't enjoy those blimp shots. That's the thing. Not just you, but a lot of people love that blimp shot.
Don't you think the city is very photogenic, the way the rivers are?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's amazing. The
topography of the land, the skyline. We've said it so many times before. It really doesn't matter from any angle. It's spectacular.
Wave, Greg. See if we can see you on the charts.
Wouldn't that be great if we reach out?
Can't see. Nothing. Oh, wait a minute. That wasn't us.
Stabbed by Blanton. 2 outs. It's the first time today that first 2 Dodgers in an inning have been retired. Blanton gave up a 1-out single to Adrian Gonzalez in the 4th inning. Last inning, Aramis Ramirez committed an error. But it was big too because A.J. Ellis followed with a free pass, first and second, nobody out. And then he got Alex Guerrero to hit the ball to Ramirez. The Pirates turned it into a double play after the challenge. Blanton got the pinch hitter Ethier. And he starts this inning off with a strikeout and a comebacker to the mound. 1-1 on Agon. And at the second baseman, the shortstop, as it turns out, Gong playing over there. That ball just eats him up. And a 3-hit day for Adrian Gonzalez.
Be a good view of it. A lot of top span. Had that ball dive right at the ground just before it gets there. Jung Ho trying to play it off on the side like that to give himself a little longer to see the ball so he could make some kind of an adjustment with the glove to catch it. Just couldn't get it done.
Ray Searage checking on Blanton.
His third inning of work. If he ends up putting up 3 zeros, Greg, I think he's got a down payment on this W, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Archimedes Caminero up in the Pirates' pen now. Well, the nation will be watching tomorrow night. Pirates Dodgers prime time just after 8 o'clock. All kids 14 and under will get a Garrett Cole Gregory Polanco Cup. Compliments of sheets and Coca-Cola. Don't miss the electric atmosphere here at PNC Park. For tickets, go to Pirates.com. The concluding game of this 3-game series. Gregory Polanco, El Cafe, has homered in the last 2 ball games. This ball hit in the air to center fielder Andrew McCutchen approaching the track. No Blanton. Gets Scott Van Slyke to fly out to deep center. Seven. Congrats and happy birthday.
A lot of birthdays this afternoon.
A wild game. There's Wild Bill from Deadliest Catch. Pittsburgh native, Captain Wild Bill. Been in town for a couple days. Neil Walker has singled and homered. Home run off Matt Latos. Deep drive. Traveled some 438 feet, and Point Park University tweets again at the bottom of your screen about the Neil Walker home run.
Neil able to to get a piece of that 97-mile-an-hour fastball that was upstairs. He's a little bit of a defensive swing at that one as he's behind in the count now. If he gets an off-speed pitch in that strike zone, he'll be right on time for it. That one 98.
Well, Bill, get the photos. Pittsburgher.
Back to the boat.
Yep. Roller to second.
I got the off-speed pitch, but it certainly was not in the strike zone.
Oh, one down. It'll bring up Pedro Alvarez.
You can definitely tell by how guys attack or don't attack that fastball. It tells you how careful you have to be with location of something off speed.
Pedro Baez's second inning of work. Last time up, Alvarez hit a ball to the right center gap. Hernandez made the play, the center fielder. Joakim Soria starts to loosen in the Pirates bullpen. The lead after 6 innings. Bucks trying to shorten these games after acquiring Joakim Soria. On strikes goes Alvarez. Ground out on a strikeout to start the 6th for the Pirates and Francisco Cervelli. Talk about Wild Bill's show on the Discovery Channel. Youngsters discovering all kinds of neat things here.
Asking questions,
yep.
Explanations about what's going on out there.
Broken bat roller to short. 1, 2, 3. Go the Pirates against Pedro Baez. We'll see Joakim Soria start the 7th.
Screenshots from the Allegheny Health Network. Super Mo to the sounds of Social Distortion. 6-4 Pirates. All the runs coming in the first 3 innings of this ball game, and then 3 scoreless from Joe Blanton. And now Sean Rodriguez takes over at first base. Here's Joakim Soria.
Numbers with the Pirates this season. 5 times now into the ball game. It looks like he's kind of taking over the 7th inning position when the team has a lead.
Gave up an unearned run last night after retiring the first 2 batters.
Looking more and more like that's going to be his role.
Carl Crawford reached on catcher interference and then would score in a Jimmy Rollins double. Puig. Walker, a fine play. 1 out. Now we'll have a pinch hitter for Kike Hernandez. It'll be Jock Peterson.
Peterson's numbers, gets up there to pinch hit. Outstanding first half of the season. Definitely tailed off of late. But it always grabs your attention, Greg, and you look up there and see those 21 home runs.
Yep.
You can't take, well, he's slumping. You can't take anything for granted. You don't know what might happen.
Another rookie, Chris Bryant, hit another home run for the Cubs today. Now it's 15 on the year. So before July 1st, 20 homers, 38 RBIs. Since, the numbers there entering this series.
Big difference. You just wonder sometimes when it comes to a hitter, what changes? Like, I mean, that truly is a switch. What was different? What was happening? Chew some of that before you put any more in.
No. Go ahead. That's enough. I'll get it in there. Mix it up.
What are we looking for?
Get a good one.
Is there a prize in there?
Close.
Pitch had to make the umpire nervous.
Peterson fouled out last night against Soria. Broken bat, pop up. Young out. Going to drop in. On a 3-2 pitch, a broken bat single for Peterson.
Just too far for a second baseman to have to run. If you're playing with a shortstop, he gets out there and makes that play.
Yasmani Grandal will pinch hit for Ellis.
There's always little compromises you make when it comes to putting the different type defenses on. Places where you're better, but you're going to give up some spots also. Got to play the percentages, though. You have all those spray charts. You know where they're most likely to hit the ball. That's where you put most of your guys. Put that little pop fly beyond the normal shortstop position. You're going to have to give that up, thinking, well, that's not going to happen very often. It was just too far for Gong to have to run when he was playing over towards second base, or on the second base side of the bat.
Grandal hits .278 from this side. Switch hitter. Oh, 1-2 count. Stays alive. Dodgers about hit the Pirates 10-9. Bucks up by a couple in the 7th. Bounce toward Walker. 1-2. Joakim Soria, a scoreless 7th. 6-4. The 7th inning here at PNC Park. Big crowd on hand, and aerial coverage provided by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Jock Peterson stays in the game to play center field. And Yasmani Grandal takes over behind the plate. They both pinch hit at the top of the 7th. And here is Luis Avilan, who was able to get out of that bases loaded, no out jam last night. Came on with a runner on. Jung Ho Kang had reached on a single against Nicasio. Avilan came on to face Francisco Cervelli, who singled. Then he walked on 4 pitches Sean Rodriguez. So bases loaded, nobody out. You got Chris Stewart to bounce to the right side of the infield. Neil Walker did the same, and then Gregory Polanco grounded out.
Well, let's hope he's used up all of his good fortune. We can use at least one insurance run going in these last 2 innings.
Well, that's a cool look, Bob. See that? The
yes, it
now?
is. I think we need to get one of these blimps for full-time work.
Would we have Terry up there in the blimp?
Occasionally, yes.
Not all the time, though.
Have Steve up there occasionally?
Dave's up there today.
We have
Darren,
Steve
the
up,
engineer.
Steve up there on Sundays.
So tossing
stuff out. Yeah. Little tiny parachutes coming down. You see it now. A little cloudy up there this afternoon.
Up there, shooting from the gondola. Story on Inside Pirates Baseball about Mark Melancon and his family going up in the blimp. Checking that off their bucket list. Down on strikes goes Rodriguez.
I think the Shark definitely has a list of things he wants to do.
Nissan road ahead against the Cardinals. Tuesday night, Jeff Locke will oppose Carlos Martinez. Then it's Garrett Cole against Michael Wacha. And Thursday night, Francisco Liriano scheduled to start against Lance Lynn. Tomorrow night, Charlie Morton. Don't forget that's an 8:05 start. The Pirates and the Dodgers, including this series.
Well, Sunday night baseball.
Blanco tries to bunt for a hit.
Good idea. They're playing very deep on the right side. Get a lefty on the mound. Perfect time to try and take that bunt with you. Just pull it up that first base side. Win that foot race to the bag.
Against the starter Latos, he walked, reached on an infield single, then stole second and fouled out. Hitting close to 290 since the All-Star break.
Been doing much better against left-handed pitching.
Eighth inning belongs to Watson. And the Riverwalk. Avilan, veteran left-hander. Everything in.
Step in the bucket and hook one.
Avilan over from the Braves in that big 13-player deal before the trade deadline. Strikes out Polanco. We're just talking about Inside Pirates baseball. Well, coming up, checking out some of the greatest hitting pitchers in Pirates history. Talked about that earlier. And yep, Mark Melancon crosses off that blimp trip off the bucket list. Much more Inside Pirates baseball presented by Allegheny Health Network debuts tonight after postgame on Root Sports.
What would you rather do, Greg? The blimp or a hot air balloon?
I think the blimp.
The blimp?
You?
Blimp, I guess. Just think about how quiet it must be in that hot air balloon. Just floating along. Every now and then you got to pull that cord though to get the flame going. But other than that,
you'd have to do that too. You can't just relax and enjoy the view of the sights.
I think you got. That's why they call it hot air. You got to keep the air hot.
I'm saying, so you're going to pilot it also. Is my point.
Oh, of course.
Oh, and you're going to pilot the blimp.
I
also?
never let anyone else drive.
So you're going to pilot the blimp as well.
No, I'll let someone else do that.
And Marte hit by the pitch. And an 0-2 offering. He is aboard. Marte is hit for the 12th time.
They tried to get out of the way of that. He brought that arm in. Did the best he could to move it out of harm's way. Sometimes guys will just leave that padded arm out there a little bit. That's what they're talking about. Did he move or not?
Andrew McCutchen looking for a perfect 4-for-4 afternoon and evening now. One ball, one strike.
Kutch has a little protection on his elbow also, but it's about as small as you can get and still wear anything at all. There's almost nothing there.
Marte eventually stole second in the first inning.
Stole it twice.
Yeah. During a McCutchen at bat, he stole second, but then had to go back to first after McCutchen unintentionally interfered with then catcher A.J. Ellis. Now it's Yasmani Grandal.
I got a question later on for you, Greg, about the backswing. Hitting a catcher who's moving forward trying to make a throw.
Three and one. You want to wait, or are you going to do it now?
I'll do it now.
Okay.
Couldn't that be
the catcher's fault?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's moved like.
Why should the batter be?
It's like a batter putting his elbow down.
Why should the batter be penalized because the catcher's moving up in the catcher's box to get a throw off?
Yeah, he's moving forward. You're taking your normal swing. I mean, a catcher really, you could see somebody doing that almost purposely, moving forward. That way, if I don't throw him out, he'll have to go back.
McCutchen reaches for a fourth straight time in this ball game. McCutchen has been to the plate 9 times in the first 2 games of the series and has reached 8 of the 9 times. The first 2 games against the Los Angeles Dodgers. 3 for 3 plus a walk today. Now Ramos Ramirez can put this game on ice here with one big swing. He singled off the wall his last time up with McCutchen at first. Hit it off the padding
Just a few feet, and then Scott Van Slyke took the ball off the wall and threw to second to get Ramirez easily, trying to stretch it into a double. And here's pitching coach Rick Honeycutt. Again, the Dodgers started the day 3-up on the Giants in the National League West. And with the Giants trailing the Cubs 8-3 now in the 9th inning. Dodgers
that one's looking bleak for the Giants, isn't it?
Yeah, Dodgers would have had a chance to stretch that lead to 4 games. They are trailing Pittsburgh here 6-4 in the bottom of the 7th. In the bullpen, Joel Peralta.
One more run. Pumped up on that fastball.
No 2 count. Avilan has struck out a pair, hit a man, walked a batter. Ramirez hit into a double play in the first. Bounced to the third baseman Guerrero in the third. And then last time up, that single off the wall and left.
That last pitch, that was the one they wanted to get him out with. Set it up with a pretty good changeup. It was just off the plate that he took. But Rammer spoiled their plan, able to foul off that next fastball.
Two and two. One of Ramirez's 2 hits last night produced a run. A single to right field through a wide open hole on the right side. Now Adrian Gonzalez is deep and playing off the line as they continue to pitch away. And they get him with a pitch away. So Avilan strikes out 3 in the inning. Tony Watson will be coming on for the 8th.
6-4 Pirates. On to the 8th. Another grind 'em out ball game here. It was back and forth for the first 3 innings. Dodgers scored in the top of the first. Pirates tied it in the bottom half, exchanging runs in the second and third innings. Aerial coverage provided by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Pedro Florimon takes over at shortstop. Jung Ho Kang moves from short to third. Tony Watson here in the 8th.
Opponent batting average is just 209. Down there about where Frankie's was. What was Frankie's? 201, 202,
yeah.
Something like that.
Alex Guerrero into right center field and drops in for a hit. Leadoff single for Guerrero, his second hit. Now Alberto Callaspo will pinch hit.
Down by the boats. Yeah.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now watch what they do when they see their.
Yeah, no,
see, they haven't noticed it yet. Look, nobody knows it yet.
Hey,
Look,
yeah.
we're on.
Yeah.
Hey,
turn around and wave. There you go. Oh man, how cool is that?
Nice touch, that little dance in front of the TV.
Oh, look at that. What a great time.
One on Callaspo.
It really is amazing what goes on around PNC Park in the summertime now. Just such a wonderful place for everybody to come. You know, whether you're into the boats or whatever, it's just crazy around here.
Oh, off of Watson. That might help the cause.
Yes, it did.
Double play.
Steve Walker point to Watson like nice job.
Watch this little assist from Tony Watson here. Like he just kind of wants to shovel the ball toward Walker.
Let me slow this down.
So there we go. Make it easy for you, Neil. That is great.
Just enough.
1-4-3 double play.
Watson with the deflection.
And to center field, Jimmy Rollins.
We got a man there.
It's McCutchen. And a scoreless top of the 8th for Tony Watson. the bottom of the 8th inning here at PNC Park.
All three rivers right there for you.
Pirates will be back here on Root Sports Tuesday from Busch Stadium. Open the series against the Cardinals. Coverage will start at 7:30 with Pirates pregame, presented by WB Mason on Root Sports. Catch us on the radio side tomorrow night. Alberto Callaspo takes over at third base. Of course, national TV tomorrow night on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. Joel Peralta now on the mound.
Peralta's numbers on the year, not too bad. The batting average getting up there a little bit, though, 282. No, the ERA, 509. That's not good. Didn't see that one right away. Craig, how about if they made the divisions on things like, cities on rivers, things like that?
Break the divisions up that way?
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Geological type stuff. Something different. Coastal divisions, divisions.
Did it by geography. I think that'd be neat.
Cities on oceans.
Yep. By the way, we saw that DirecTV blimp shot of both PNC Park and Heinz Field. There it is again, and we were getting some tweets. What were you guys talking about in the open? We started this game at 4 o'clock. Well, we made some references. Talked about the Pirates having won 36 home games before their win last night. Talked about Clayton Kershaw, who started for the Dodgers and a likely Hall of Famer. And Bob said, my bet is that Sean Rodriguez will continue to play strong defense. All references, of course. We said that the fans were arriving by boat, by car, by bus. Obviously, we're referencing Jerome Bettis. Congratulations to the bus being inducted into the National Football League Hall of Fame in Canton. Oh, you also added something about Rodriguez.
Oh, big,
quick feet.
Quick on his feet. Yeah. Polanco scoring long distance, or just being able to punch one over.
Congratulations.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with that during the open. And,
we were kind of curious to know if anybody would pick up on it. A lot of people did, but some people kind of wondered what that was all about. Didn't want to be too obvious.
Well, congratulations. It was really a long time coming. Well deserved.
Thanks to Jason Steele, our producer, for
allowing us to have some
suggesting
fun
us that we do that. Well, fouled out of play.
Oh, I thought that was your idea.
No. Steeltown producing this weekend. Jason Steele with some help from Pete Toma. Two and two. Still 2-2. What does the I guess maybe we'll get a shot later perhaps of the wave from the blimp. It's going to dive down now, but I'm trying to start that wave. On Gong. And the right field, and Puig will come on to make the catch. Gong lines out to right. Another big crowd, 38,981. The 17th sellout this season. Getting ready for OAR in concert. Fan Jam.
Stage is ready to go.
Now that is a crowded area on Mazeroski Way.
Yes, it is.
Outside the ballpark.
What a traffic jam that is.
Thanks to Director of Broadcasting Mark Garda for sorting all that out. All the trucks, the stage, and to coordinate all that.
See the spotlights next to the camera.
wrapped up in plastic last night. I asked Steve what those were, and he said they were cameras. I said, really? He goes, yeah. He was serious. He had convinced me.
Really? Had you convinced?
He did.
I doubt that.
Billy Murillo and Brian Sipe handing cameras there. Now Walker to left. And 2 down. Ishikawa will pinch hit. That's for Watson. Final, the Cubs beat the Giants 8-6. Mark Melancon going to pitch the 9th.
The bullpen this afternoon, nothing but zeros up to this point. And they had to pitch 6 innings. That's what it's going to end up being.
Scott Van Slyke had a single in the first off Liriano to score the first run. And then Andrew McCutchen tied the game with a base hit off Matt Latos in the bottom of the first. In the second inning, Adrian Gonzalez singled with 2 outs off Francisco Liriano that scored Latos, made it 2-1 LA, and then the Pirates put up that 3 spot thanks to the home run by Francisco Liriano, the first of his career. Looked like he might have been bothered by something on his right side, but continued to pitch and then gave up a 2-run homer to Kike Hernandez in the top of the third. And tied the game, and then the bottom half of the third inning, ground out by Jung Ho Kang that scored Andrew McCutchen, who had doubled to start the frame, and the Neil Walker home run made it 6-4. And that has been it. Joe Blanton, 3 scoreless, in line for the win. It'll be his first win since joining the Pirates, as he made his second appearance, pitching 3 scoreless in relief of Liriano. Joaquin Soria, a scoreless 7th. Tony Watson, a scoreless 8th.
Flag waving just a little early here now. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. How do you feel about that, Greg? Somebody starts waving the flag before you give me okay.
I think it's okay to wave it.
Okay. All right.
Just don't, you know what. Monongahela, the Ohio, and of course PNC Park. Sellout crowd. Watching the Pirates try to take 2 straight over the LA Dodgers, leading by 2 going to the 9th. This will surprise you. The Cardinals lead the Brewers 1-0. Matt Carpenter hit his 16th home run of the year. Mark Melancon trying for his 35th save of the season.
This would be, well, you know what, they're all big, but this would be a nice one. Put this one away. You know, when a division leader comes into your town, you want to make a little bit of a statement to everybody. Big national game tomorrow. They'll be talking about the Pirates taking the first 2. If we can put this one away. You know, I mean, what's that really mean? It's just talk, big deal, but I don't know. Just it gives you a little bit of pride. Pirates went through some lean years. It's kind of fun to look and see what's happening now.
And you know, just look at this, the home record. They play so well in front of large crowds here at PNC Park. Tough part of the order here. 2, 3, 4 men. Howie Kendrick, Adrian Gonzalez, Scott Van Slyke. Melancon pitched a 1-2-3 9th, facing the bottom of the order last night. Kept the game tied. Antonio Bastardo got the win when Pedro Alvarez singled in the bottom of the 10th. And a couple of strikes on Kendrick. Kendrick goes the other way on an 0-2 pitch. And a base hit.
Never easy. It's always got to be edge of the seat. I guess that's what makes it fun, Rick.
It really is true. It would not be any fun if it were just easy every time.
You would get used to it, and you would
don't appreciate it.
Yeah. You got to have that a little bit of pain every now and then, so the good feels great.
All right, that's enough pain. Now let's get Adrian Gonzalez here
to the good stuff.
Yeah,
and we'll feel great because of it. The double play would feel outstanding because of that leadoff hit.
Out off to the left. Just one man on the left side of the infield. We saw Adrian Gonzalez earlier in that ball game, single to left, beating the shift, driving in a run. He's been on base all 4 times, hit by a pitch in the first, and 3 straight singles. And to left, going to carry out toward Marte. Oh, he makes a nice play. That ball was blistered by Adrian Gonzalez, and Marte stayed with it. Oh.
that ball, I mean, this is what you're wanting to do if you're Gonzalez. Just center one up, hit it hard to the outfield somewhere. Hopefully you're getting an extra base hit out of it. Marte actually made a fairly easy play on it. Look how he's just cracking it.
He made it look easy. Great jump.
Could have got a little deeper into the glove than that.
Yeah.
It's all right.
That's a little bit of the pain.
Yeah.
Now Scott Van Slyke singled in a run in the first.
Yeah, he went. Oh. I didn't like that call.
I could tell.
Can't challenge those guys.
Not yet. Scott Van Slyke hit a ball to the warning track in center field in the 6th inning off Blanton. He's 1 for 4. toward left center field. McCutchen over, cannot make the play. Kendrick going to be waved home, and he will score. Scott Van Slyke's double makes it 6-5.
Well, they've certainly teed off on these last two. Van Slyke catching that cutter and just drilling it out toward that bullpen. You can see the cutter spin on it. Kind of like a little short slider is more or less what it is. Kutch laying out for it.
Well, he went for it, and that means that Van Slyke winds up at second, where a base hit can tie it. Yasiel Puig at the plate. Ball one. Ball two.
Trying to set up that cutter with a fastball. Two outs. That's all we need.
Now 2 balls and 1 strike on Yasiel Puig. Puig has struck out twice, bounced out, walked ahead of the home run by Hernandez in the third. Scott Van Slyke 2 RBIs in this game. Big cut, 2-2.
That was another just a straight fastball. See where the outfielders are playing pretty normal depth right now with that tying run at second base, trying to give themselves a little bit of an opportunity. Make a throw to the plate, especially Marte in left field. He's not backed up much at all. He's cheating in a little bit for somebody that's got the decent power like Puig does.
Three and two. Cervelli wants to talk to Melancon now about this pitch.
That curveball, he was going for the swing and a miss.
On deck, Jock Peterson. Pirates and Dodgers, 1-run game now. Still 3-2 on Puig. Puig has struck out 54 times this year and 226 at bats. Ground ball to third. Whoa! Safe! Rodriguez came off the bag. Ramirez double clutched. Perhaps to wait till, or rather Gong double clutched to see perhaps if Rodriguez was not to the bag yet, but Gong picked the ball up and did not throw right away. He looked to second. Wow. Well, they're going to challenge it, but I don't see that being overturned. Pirates have a challenge left, but this would be a miracle, I think, wouldn't it, Bob?
I don't know, Greg, if it would be a miracle or not. Was this when the ball just hits the glove with his toe still in contact right there? Right there, Greg.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know either. I think on that.
It's too iffy.
It was, this one right here, right here. Now, his toes on the bag.
Looks, yeah, you might be
He's
right.
out. Right there. The ball's in the glove, toes on the bag. He's out. Toe is on
Good
the bag.
call. Yep, he is out.
And the ball is obviously in the glove.
Let's see this again.
Now see the ball is in the glove.
Now.
Toes on the bag. Now, okay, the ball is in the glove, and the toe is on the bag.
By that, he should be out.
Yeah.
Well, by what we just saw. Gong looked the runner back to second and did not throw right away. Slight hesitation. And then when he did throw a bit high, Rodriguez taking the throw and keeping that left toe on the bag. Right toe, rather. He was squeezed it a moment ago. Showed his foot was on the bag.
Now it's off. I think it might even come
Second
back.
time before
might even come back down before Puig hits it. But he certainly is on it the first time. Now that is so close to whether it comes back down or not. I don't know if you could overturn it there, but
decision time. Out.
I mean, that first one, it was the toe was touching the bag, the ball is in the glove.
Yep.
I mean,
End of story, really.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you need. You need contact with the bag and the ball in the glove, and you could see that was the case.
Watch Mattingly. Now 2 outs, and here is the rookie Jock Peterson, and the sellout crowd up again. Mark Melanson. Folks doing the Mark the Shark. Peterson had a broken bat single in the 7th. 0-1.
That closer's role is sure different than anything else. You know?
Yeah, it is, I know.
Physically, you go out there and you got to get 3 outs. And a lot of times it's the bottom part of the lineup. Even physically, it's not that big a deal. But you just think mentally, what is happening every time you're out there? I mean, the crowd watches you pitch all the time standing.
Right.
When you're at home, and here there's the chant going. It's just such a different feeling than at any other time when anybody's out there on that mound right now. And every time you're out there, this is what it's like.
1-2. One more.
Trying to throw that high cut. Cutter sharp.
Yep.
It's kind of a high ball.
2-2.
Close. Oh, man.
Mark Melancon trying for his major league leading 35th save with a potential tying run at scoring position. A Rookie of the Year candidate at the plate, Jock Peterson. Yasmani Grandal, switch hitting catcher on deck. It's first and second.
That one missed easy in there. No doubt that was inside. All right, move on to the next guy.
Yasmani Grandal has never faced Melancon. Grandal came on a pinch hit in the 7th, hit into a 4-6-3 double play against Joaquim Soria. Stayed in the game to catch. Strike one. Now on deck, the pitcher spot, Carl Crawford would pinch hit if Grandal reaches. Crawford, a .221 hitter in 27 games this season.
Grandal, as we said earlier, a better hitter from the right side of the plate. He hits .278 from this left side. But all of his homers as a left-handed batter, 15 of them. One and one. Scott Van Slyke's double brought home Howie Kendrick, who singled to start the inning off of Melanson. Two outs now, 2 on. Pirates lead by 1 run. And down to their last strike again. And again, the crowd trying to coax this final out of Melanson. Grandal, by the way, hits .298 with men in scoring position. Here's the Jolly Roger! Cliffhanger! But Mark the Shark earns his 35th save.
Wouldn't have it any other way, Greg. How much fun was that last inning, huh? Huh?
Too much.
How good does that swing and miss feel when you're on the edge of your seat with every pitch for the last 5 minutes? What a game.
Pirates win the first 2 and take the series over the first place club in the National League West.
And again, how about that bullpen?
Bullpen starting with Joe Blanton, who gets his first Pirates win, 3 scoreless. Joaquin Soria, Tony Watson, Mark Melanson finish up. The Pirates are now 14-3 in their last 17 home games.
And Frankie didn't have that good of a day, obviously, out on the mound, but 3 RBIs with the big home run.
Big win in front of a sellout crowd. They're raising the Jolly Roger even on the river. Let's go back to the studio. Dan and T.